how did you decide to become a nurse back in the early
I was
1990s?
17 years old, and I was going to graduate from high school, and I heard of this wonderful program that the Queen's Hospital had said they were going to have. You could become an RN and get your degree from the University of Hawaii. That was in 1941. So I decided what a great thing for me to do. And so I went to the university to register for her, or for this wonderful thing. And she was standing in front of me, but she didn't know what she was going to do. And we started to talk, and by the time we got up to the front, she decided to take the same course. That's how we became roommates for the whole nursing year. But that's how I started. You could get your degree from the university and an RN at the same time. What a great deal, you know. And I was 17 years old. But, so, you know, I thought, and here because I was living with my brother, who was a principal in the high school, and also he was a major in the Air Force, and not Air Force, in the service. And he was a principal of a school, but he was sent to the mainland to learn Chinese, so they were going to send him to China as an officer. So he gets to the middle of China, and nobody understands him, but he has such a personality that he gets along really well. But that's my brother, who was a principal here, and I decided I didn't want to live with him, so I went to the university. That's how I lived at the nurse's home for 6 years. That was in 1940. I graduated in 1941.
So the school had a campus and
Oh yeah, we just stayed in the nurse's home, but we didn't have any nurses training in. We were just going to take the kids to the bus in the morning to go to the university and come back. And December 7th, now you see, I became 18 in November. This is December. She and I, is a Sunday morning, early Sunday morning, she and I are getting ready to go to church. The only reason why we went to church is because Queen Emma and King Kamehameha IV owned all this land and started the church and the hospital. See, ordinarily, this is all royal land, and so the nurses, all the queens is land that the royal jails. And so we would go to St. Andrews because that's just part of the deal. Everything, all our services were held at St. Andrews. She and I decided to go to St. Andrews church Sunday morning. We get dressed, we go out, and all of a sudden we hear the bombing, and we thought, oh wow! And we can see the things because it went so low, and all the wrecking on the bottom of the plane, and you can see fire. And I'm thinking, wow, what a maneuver! So I run back in the dorm, call my brother up and say, hey, what kind of maneuvers are you folks doing? It's so, the flag's so low over the trees. And my brother, this is my second brother that's principal, he says in this mysterious voice, he says, and I can hear you till today, this is no maneuver. This is the real McCoy. You and your roommate get back in your dorm and get under your bed. So I said to my brother says, real McCoy. So we rush back into the dorm, and we can hear the bombs, and next thing you know, we hear the ambulance and all that, and I'm thinking, no more bombing, you know. So I said, hey, let's go out, and we can hear the trucks coming in. I said, let's go over to the ambulance emergency and see what's going on. And we'd see trucks coming in, because all the ambulance, I didn't know this till later. Here were trucks bringing these bodies, and their arms were hanging out of the truck. And said, oh, she and I sat with her and said, look, the dead body, look, that man has a ring on his finger. You know, we're 17, 18 years old. So I said, we stayed there and watched while they brought bodies. And I was thinking, what's there? Where's the ambulance? Later on I found out that they had taken all these doctors, the local doctors were asked to go to triple hospital because most of the wounded were military, and they needed doctors and they needed ambulances. So we had no ambulances or doctors. So they were bringing the bodies from where the bomb dropped in the river, Chinese by the stream there, in trucks. And that's how they were laying in trucks. And they were dead, but they didn't know what to do with. But they had some that were still living, and they were trying to treat them in emergency. So that evening, the host mother said they need some of you girls that will volunteer just to sit with patients. And my roommate and I said, we have no experience, but we can sit with patients. So she and I went, and they gave us two men that were unconscious and on life support, and she had one and I had one. They said, all you do is, every now and then you feel his chest, and if he's still breathing, just be thankful. But if you don't feel anything, and they gave us a number to call. So she and I sat, she had one and I had one, and all night long I was praying, dear God, don't let my patient die. He would still be breathing. But he was unconscious. He was a local, Japanese man. And then about 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning, they came in and said, they have no training on medicine. So basically they go back to your yard. So you go back to your yard at 6 o'clock in the morning. It was a horrible night, just praying that your patient, this man wouldn't die. And then, of course, by then they're bringing all these people to the hospital. There are no doctors because they're all in tripler. They don't know what, we have small little emergency, like Queen's Hospital. How big it is. I know because I went to get my nose stitched. But there was a small one, so they were in trucks with bodies. But they didn't know because people had to come to identify them. They didn't know who they were. And people didn't carry IDs like they usually do. And so, then they, it's just wonderful that she and I sat with the patient, and the patient didn't die. But then the next day, we feel so useless because we have no training and all that. But then we do whatever. Then they dug holes all through Queen's Hospital as what do you call it?
Trenches?
To
bury the body?
No, for us to go in case they come back.
Okay, trenches. I think they're called.
They were called. What kind of holes are they?
Like bomb shelters?
Like a bomb shelter.
Wow.
And then there were all holes all through the yard of Queen's Hospital. And we were all assigned to one. There were like only 8 people.
Like a foxhole?
Yeah, like a foxhole or whatever. But there were benches in there, and we'd sit there, and they have drills where when the little thing would run down there and get there. And we all had gas. We were all given gas masks. So our university classes were within the month was canceled, and then it was taken over by the military. And everything, we had blackout, lights, and our windows were all colored black. There was supposed to be no cars on the road after dark, except the military ones that could be on the street. And civilians weren't allowed on there. But she and I were still in university because it was still open. But we would catch the buses, no street lights. It was just scary. But then they finally, the military took over the university, so that was canceled. But we had no training.
So how, after the whole thing happened, when did you guys start your classes?
It took over about 6 months or so. Maybe, I can't tell you exactly. All I know is this happened in December, and by the next, maybe April or so, we were starting to go to classes. But we had blackouts, stuff like that. And we weren't supposed to be after dark. We were not allowed to be on the streets. Cars were not supposed to be on the street. It was just really awful. You have to spend all your time in the dorm. And the windows were all blacked out. And you couldn't have lights. And then we walked around with this heavy...
Sorry, Bonnie. You can see that Oprah show. Have I seen that Oprah show? No, you look like Oprah psychic.
Ah!
Sorry, I was like, no, I can't.
Is that you saved my life, Yolanda or something.
You're absolutely right. I do look like her.
Yolanda?
She's a reporter.
Thank you.
She has a better job.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to say
No, you did not. That's perfectly fine. I usually get Anita Baker, but I will take it. Yama Vincent. Yes, I do look like her.
She is very outstanding.
Especially with my hair.
You look good. You look good.
Thank you. In my day. Look at
You should take a picture with her. Here.
That is so funny. This is the first time someone has told me.
You gotta have a picture with her.
So she says we should have a
behind her.
picture.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, we'll have a selfie. How's that?
Okay.
We can do that. This is priceless.
You got my cowboy hat on or off? Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
She is
Have a good-
she's a reporter.
Have a good
awesome.
weekend.
Have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
Oh, isn't that
That
cool?
is
sidekick.
Oh,
I know, this is
does
so
it happen all the time?
No, not really. I usually get Anita Baker, and I think it's because I dyed my hair, so
Yes. Well, it
I
is.
do look like her, kind of. I resemble her.
Yeah.
But during this time, I know it was chaotic. So
It was
you went back to
chaotic.
school, and I guess the city wasn't the same.
Oh,
How were your
everything.
parents taking this? Like
Well,
the
this is
neighbors?
actually, since we lived in the dorm, you know, like my brother, as I say, my one brother was a pilot in flying from, he was a bomber pilot, and he was flying from France over to Germany. This is, you know, like in the 38, and he was shot down. Actually, a bomber, there's 7, whatever, 14, I don't know how many in there. But the plane was shot, but the pilot, he was a co-pilot. The pilot was so badly injured that he said, when we get to, let's get to France, thinking from Germany they'd be safe. And when they got to France, the pilot, when they got there, the pilot, you know, they bailed out. But the pilot was bad. My brother flew the plane, and when it was time for him to jump out of the plane, being in France, he found out that his arm was shattered, and he couldn't release his shoe. Oh, he had a hard on, but he finally was able to jump out of the plane. The plane crashed in France, and it was evening, and people came out, and he spoke French, and he was so happy, and they were so wonderful. My brother had shattered his arm, but they helped him to the house. They gave him wine, and then they got on the phone and they did it in French, and then they said, Heil Hitler! So he knew right away that he was in occupied France. So there was my brother holding his arm because it was shattered, and he was in bad shape. But then, I don't know, they gave him wine. They're so nice, the French. They're occupied by Germany. But finally, they came to pick him up, Germans, and took him, and he was put in a place where he was interrogated for 2 days with his broken arm. Finally, they took him, and he was taken to a hospital where they put him in a body cast. He had shrapnel in his back, and his arm was shattered, but they put him in a body cast, and we didn't know where he was or what, but eventually Red Cross said, your brother is in a German prison. And so I would get while I was a student nurse, that first year, I would get little letters from him, written by the Red Cross. Said, I'm doing fine, I have good care, and all this stuff. But it wasn't true, because my brother was put in a body cast, and he lost so much weight that he could almost turn in it. But good thing, by then Germany, the prisoners were, at first they were like the prisoners that would help him out, and some of them were Russian prisoners, so they were wonderful. They knew, you know, because they had no prisoners. So here's my brother shrinking away in his body cast, when all of a sudden the prisoners were, German prisoners were saying something in German and giving their hats. He realized that the American troops were coming in. So he was liberated, but here he is in a body cast, and so he's sent back to America, and he has to be rehabilitated. But he always had shrapnel on his back, and he always said that when he went through one of those places, he wouldn't be, yeah, but he had all. But then he decided, this is my youngest brother, he loved flying so much. So when he gets well, he's still in the Air Force, so he goes and learns how to fly jets. And he's sent over to Japan and China. But when he gets to Japan, the war is over, thank God. So, but he spent time doing that and stuff like that. So that was my youngest brother. But you know, for me here, I'm a student nurse, first year. Our university classes are just all jammed up. Our nursing classes, we don't, you know, it's just chaotic. So I think when we finally start having classes, we have probably the class that endured the most and learned the most. You know, to us, learning to take care of well people or people that are not traumatically injured was a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think our class is only, there are only 11 or 12 of us in that first class. And they joined us with, took another bunch of girls, so there became like 20 something of us. Of that 11, there's only like 3 of us left. But the one that still comes to our annual, we have an annual thing, she's in a wheelchair, and mentally she's sharp, she's extremely unhappy. And there's another one that's still alive, but we don't hear from her. And there's one other one that is staying in a care place, and she's so depressed, it's so hard. She calls me now. She's so depressed, it's just hard for me to listen to her. You know, I don't want to cry on the phone, so I'm trying to keep her happy, but she's not happy at all. So we have an annual thing that we go to, a nurses convention, at luncheon at the Alamo Hotel, and there were only the 2 of us there. Class of 45.
When do you guys hold this get together? How often? What date?
It's in. Let's see, we just had it.
You just had it about 4 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, what's
Just about 4 weeks ago.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Was it about November?
So every year?
April, May, maybe April, May, mid-April. I think it's right before Barbara's injury, so
Oh yeah,
yeah.
about in the summertime. Anyway, it doesn't tell us.
So, Ms. Kobayashi, would you say that experiencing Pearl Harbor made you a better nurse? And how did you take that in caring for your patients in the later years as a nurse?
Seeing all that trauma, seeing all kinds of trauma from war injuries, people without limbs, people without arms, caring for the, it was, you're seeing the worst of all, you know, of trauma. That eventually we have sick people, and you know, it was pleasure. Yeah, because here we didn't know anything, and so when we'd watch as nurses do some of these things, I'm thinking, holy smokes, you know, am I going to someday be able to do all that stuff? But a sick person was so easy to take care of. I mean, the difference was so great. Like one time there was a police officer that's sick, and I went in to see if I could help him, and he grabbed me and pulled me into bed with him, and I screamed at him, holy smokes, it's better to take care of these people than can't even move. And he thought that was so funny. He laughed, and I hated him, and I said, told him outside, don't send us in there, just send the old ugly white nurses to take care of this guy. But you know, that was it, you know, when you're young.
It kind of molded you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I have never had this kind of experience, you know. I thought they were dirty old men.
If you had a word of advice for the new nurses of this generation, the new ones who are coming out of school, ready to hit the, you know, the road, go into the hospitals, and what word of advice would you give them?
You know what, I can't, because the time difference, this is the electronic age, they're all texting and they're all doing, they know so much more, they see all kinds of stuff. And you know, I didn't even know where babies came from, to tell you the truth. You know what, I mean, I really knew nothing. I had no idea. I'd never seen a naked man, you know. You know what, it was and most of my classmates were in the same period, 1941, 40, graduated from high school. No cell phones, no nothing, no pornography, things that they could watch on TV, you know. I think we had a TV shortly after that, but life was so different, you know, and we were not allowed to even go out with the interns. It was a forbidden thing. I mean, nowadays they're all over the place, and so you know, but they had the intern's house right there. Of course, we were looking, but you know, they were looking at us, and we had a swimming pool, but we had certain hours. Only we could swim at a certain hour, and they could swim at a certain hour. But in this book, as this thing says, they asked me to write something here. It said here, oh, you can see here what it said here.
But it seems like it was more regimented.
It was very regimented. We had to wear these stiff, and it had to be starched so that it was stiff. You know, so you had to hold a certain posture with this uniform. Nowadays they were wearing pants and all that, but we couldn't wear that. We had to wear white stockings, and you couldn't get white stockings in the warriors. It was hard. They only got the white cotton ugly stockings, so that's what we wore. But see, since by 1945 we tells you how
graduated on.
and then see, the interns could swim at a certain time, and we weren't allowed to be there, and we ate separately. We were not allowed to mingle with the interns or whatever it was, you know. But they were keeping their eye on us, you know. But so that's why I say here that how it happened that I married my husband, and she married a doctor too.
Did she?
Yeah.
So, as a nurse, I'm sure you've spent your career, you've seen a lot of different cases, you've seen traumas. Tell me your best aspect of as a nurse. What's your best aspect of it, of being a nurse, of your profession?
The patient-nurse relationship was so set. You know, we treated them with care and dignity and all that, but there was never that personal touch. Nowadays it's different. They don't have that. You know, I don't know. Life has changed. You have cell phones. They can see anything. It means nothing.
So
we were
the relationship with you and your patient.
Yes, that was totally unacceptable to behave in any other way than as a very trained, professional person. And that's the way we were in the hospital. I mean, there was no hanky-panky. You didn't see what you see now. You know, stuff like that. I mean,
you cared for your patients as a true professional, but didn't intermingle anything else as far as it was beyond the profession.
That's one thing that we were taught from the very beginning, that we were not supposed to have any personal relation with patients or doctors. So, and here's the intern part. They knew, because look, we had to swim at a certain time, they could use the pool at a certain time. So it was, you know, one of those strange relationships. But mine was a little different, because my husband was a Japanese doctor. But
so how did you meet your husband? So he was
a resident. He was an intern. He went to school in Iowa. He had 3 years of college here, but had all the requirements. And the professor said, in the middle of the cornfield is a institution, a higher institution that I would recommend to anybody, the University of Iowa. So my husband, when he was a junior in college, had enough credits that he applied to Iowa and was accepted. So he went all the way to Iowa to school there, in the middle of the cornfield, and he made a lot of friends. You know, he was accepted. December 7th.